Okay, let's start working on the profile edit form. Essentially, we're going to be able to edit only the username initially, and then on a subsequent lesson, we're going to have the ability to add a profile picture, which is something that I want to show everyone how to do with asynchronous operations. So before we do that, though, I wanted to create quickly the homepage, because right now we don't have a homepage, and I'd like to at least have the scaffolding of it. So I'm going to create a directory for the homepage application. So that's going to be here in the root. I'm going to create it. I'm going to call it home. And inside it, we're going to do an init. And we are also going to do a views py. Okay. And it's going to be pretty simple. So we're going to say from Quart import. We're going to need the blueprint. And I think for now, that's going to be it. We're going to also need from typing import union and type checking. And so we're going to do a home app, which is a blueprint of a home app name, just like that. I'm going to create a route and methods equal get. And we're going to call that function async dev home, which returns a union of string of response. That's right. And we're going to say return h1 welcome to Quart feed and h1. And so we're going to say if type checking import response. Okay, that should be good. And then on the application, we're going to say from home views import home app, register that blueprint. And I think that's it. And so if we now navigate to the home of the application, we get welcome to Quart feed. So next, we're going to build the form for the profile edit, and we're going to place that on the profile edit template folder on the user. So I'm going to create a new file. We're going to call it profile edit, and it's going to take a bunch of the register because it's a form. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, and I'll just copy and paste this, and then we can just pare down for the profile edit. So we're gonna say here edit profile instead of registration, and here as well edit profile. We're gonna have the same thing with errors messages. The URL for this is gonna be profile edit. And so essentially we can, like I said, we're gonna for now just be able to edit the username. So we're gonna take this out. We're gonna still have a CSRF token, and then the button is gonna read edit profile. I think everything else is okay there. So let's save that. Okay, next we're gonna work on the profile edit function on the views. So let's close this and open the user views, and we're gonna add it at the end of the function there. And so we're gonna say user app route, and it's gonna be profile edit. So we're gonna require the login, and we're gonna define the profile edit as a function that returns either a union of string or response. And as you can see here, Copilot is already suggesting some good suggestions. So let's go line by line. So error string is equals to quote quote username. I actually want to get the session of the username since we already have that by login required. The CSRF token is right. So then if the request method is equals to get, we're going to set the CSRF token to that token. And then the post, it's probably, yeah, it's pretty good. If not username, yep, that's right. Here, if the session get the CSRF token is not equal to the form get and not current app testing, then invalid post contents, that's correct. And the next thing we're gonna check is if the user exists. I'm actually going to take this out into this line here and add the type ignore. And so we want to check if the user exists and if the username changes. So how do we do that? We're going to check that the session username is not the same as the username that they're passing here. So here I'm going to say if there's no error so far and the session username is not equal to the username that we're getting from the form, that means that the user is changing the username. So we're going to get the user row by username. And then we're going to say if there's a user row and the user row ID, that means that there's another user that has the same username. So that person is not going to be able to take that username. But if that is not the case, then we can go ahead and edit the profile. And so we are going to check first if the application is not in testing mode as we did before. And if that's not the case, then we're going to delete the CSRF token. Then we have an update statement where we look for the user based on the user ID that they have on the user session and update the values that are passed there. In this case, the username is now equal to the username. We execute and commit to the database. And then finally, we update the session with the new username so they don't have the old username before the change. And then we redirect to the profile with that username. And then we do else. If there was an error, then we set the session to the CSRF token that we're passing in that initial CSRF token set. And finally, we can render the template with the template that we just created, which is user profile edit. We're going to pass error, the username, and the CSRF token, just like it's being suggested here. Amazing. So I think that's a pretty good profile edit function. Let's check if it works. So let's try it out. I believe I'm already logged in as JOR Escobar. So here's the profile edit. As you can see, it's filled out with my name or username. If I put an empty entry, then it's asking me for a username. If I try to use an existing username, it says that it already exists. And finally, if I can update to a new user, then we're updating it. So looks like it works perfectly fine. We need to update the edit profile button. So let's do that quickly. And we are going to go to the profile edit. Let's stop the server here. So actually, not the profile edit, I need the profile HTML. And see how we have here a hash instead of the endpoint. So we're gonna, let's copy this because it's easier and then put it here. and then we're gonna say URL for it should be dot profile edit, and we don't need the username. Okay, perfect. And now on the navbar, we're going to edit this link here to look at your own profile. So let's copy and paste this, and we're gonna say URL for user app profile, and we need to pass the username. So we do that after the URL. Username equals session. Username, remember that Jinja templates have access to the session object. And we're gonna add another link for us to edit our own profile. So it's gonna be profile underscore edit. We don't need the username. And on the text, we're gonna say edit pro. So we save that, and let's run the application, reload, and now we have the link here for the username. I think I have a typo there, and edit profile. Yep, I still have something to fix there. Oh, I missed one bracket, one curly bracket here and here. Save, remember to stop and start when you do changes to templates. Reload, and now it looks like, yeah, that's working. And edit profile is going to edit profile. Perfect. All right, we're done with the edit profile, and now we're gonna write some tests.